You know for sure what you need to do, but you can't do it yourself. Hours go by and days go by. That task is still unattacked. But what if I told you? It's not your motivation that's the problem. It's how you thought. In a short time, I will show you easy shift that makes you do something even if you don't wanna, because this will get worse if you don't change it now. You'll keep an eye on your potential. Slip it between your fingers. How long will you not do anything because of fear? When are you going to stop? Letting the doubt fire out burn through the print of your dream? Are you aware that every time you musky, every minute you think not yet, tears take away your chances? Want to succeed? We're going to dive deep today into the truth you should avoid, the lies you tell yourself, and the angst that rule your decisions. What I'm about to say is aware how accepting what's wrong with acting can change your life. A breaking of the illusion that relief brings success. Do what you like, what we do in this room. Clicking on that subscribe button is a simple free favor that really help us now. Let's begin and get into the secrets to getting in charge of the time and things you do. Ever get caught in the matter of putting things off? You're not by yourself. Many of the time, we look at it as a pleasure, a barrier that stops us, keeps us from reaching our goals. Still, putting things off not just about being lazy, or at the heart of it, a lack of drive. This is a hard dance with our inside woes. Fear of failing, and fear of being judged, and the fear of not being good enough. It's how our minds protect us from possible pain and uncomfort. You putting us in a false light of safety because you did not do it. You might now question, why do we fear these things? A Western view of life and psychology give us some clues. Carl Jung once said, what you resist doesn't just stay away, but will grow in size. That is exactly what goes wrong when you delay. The more we avoid our tasks, the worse they get. The bigger and more unacceptable. They look like they're getting bigger. In our heads, please avoid this becomes a place to birth do it for anxiety and stress, being the cause of fears that made us put things off in the first place. What's more, the Stoics also had something to say about this. They thought that getting ready for events could all the time be more debilitating, far more than the events themselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, or if you are in pain from something outside you, this is not what puts you in stress, but what you think about it, and you have the power to do it, to get rid of this judgment right now. This strong knowledge asks that by changing what we think, we can get over our hesitancy. That putting things off leads to, it's not the task that scares you. That's what we tell ourselves. What the task is that stops us, how do we get rid of this beast? First, we need to get it. Putting things off for what they are, a way to defend yourself that avoids us from sense of harm because you understand this. We can start to ask questions. How real our fears are? Are we really in peril? Or are we just shocking up of not being perfect? Almost all the time, the worst-case scenario in our heads is very far from being true next. It's important to break the cycle. Begin small. Stoics believe that people should focus on things we can control. Letting go of what is not, try this by going. Small steps you can manage to get to your goal. How this method lowers tasks that are too much to do, plus lessons the fear that was around them. As you move forward, you feel more confident, lessening the urge to put things off. Go with the process of getting it wrong. Remember that every mistake gives you a chance to grow and learn. Taking this on can make a big difference. The danger of failure. As Jung also said, the most beautiful. The important thing is to fully accept yourself. Accepting our flaws helps us grow. How vulnerable we are. We make them less powerful over us. And get rid of the need to delay. What have you ever heard of the 5-minute rule? It's a very easy idea. Statement that is proven to work, that can get you started on productivity and fight the paralysis often caused by putting things off. The idea is easy to understand. Pick a task. Set a timer for 5 minutes and do your best on that job until the time is up. What kind of jumping down it is the first few lines of your new blog post, putting a shelf together, or beginning the first slides. What a presentation is do it right away. The glamour of this way lies in how simple it is and what the psychological underpinnings are that make it work. It takes advantage of people's lack of commitment. How 5 minutes works not a threatening a very little amount of time. The best of people who put things off can agree to, but this is the secret source. When you start, momentum builds, and quitting is now the harder choice. This is explained in part how do psychologists do it. Do not miss the Zeigarnik effect, where people remember unfinished or interrupted work not as good as completed task. Basically, as soon as you start a task, your mind is still working and is likely to happen to be able to see it to finish right now. Why does something so easy as the 5-minute rule do what they do so well, from the point of view of Philippism? This fits well with Stoic ideas. In particular those who strive for control what we can do right away and not caring about the rest. Marcus Aurelius stressed how important it is to center your work at this moment and doing what you see in front of you with real effort and precise the 5-minute rule. This teaching is encapsulated by asking us to pay attention only to the next. We have 5 minutes of our lives rather than being overwhelmed by the whole scope of what we need to do. Carl Jung also talked about ideas that make sense with the 5-minute rule while talking about how to start small can lead to important good things for your minds. He thought that the last thing possible to mean is more worth in life greater than the best things nothing about it. Putting this to use on our 5-minute task. Even a small amount of important focused work should make our day much better, and to our minds a lot more, than taking hours carelessly or to avoid even more. This method lowers the stress. Of the perfectionist, a big block that slows down a lot of people. By setting aside just 5 minutes, you're not getting ready. The goal of perfection is very tempting. Instead, a block to start from which you can gain power. Use this method responds to the psychological idea getting that going. Most of the time, the hardest part before action is taken. Stress over the work often gets less, and the method flows more naturally from here on out. For those who seem to be stuck all the time, I feel like even the smallest tasks can't be overcome. The 5-minute rule can change the game. It's not just about your mind into beginning a task. It's about reorganizing things from the ground up. How you do your work and life. It changes the way you look. From someone who dreams the beginning of every job to someone who likes to have fun, what is consistent in and healthy practice of beginning. Beginning a big project feel like standing a lot of the time at the foot of a high mountain. The peak looks far away. And the way up is terrifying. How do you take it? Is this such a huge problem? It's important to break things down. The important what can be managed this way of partially partial. A big project into a smaller one, better parts to digest is more than just a plan for running work. It's a good way to live your life that was recorded in a number of schools of thought, from system to the present day of psychology. The insights of the Stoics. Even more so from thinkers like Seneca, teaches us not to be too busy by how equal the tasks appear to be. Seneca was told, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but we throw away a lot of it. You can get what this means telling people what to do to make the best use of our time." Thus, by look at the present and taking care of task, as they arise one step at a time. This method helps cut down on the stress that comes with the sense of how big the task and changes our view before this moment, getting our works together to the immediately doable steps, broken down tasks. Psychologically helps lessen the overload of mental resources that take place. When we think about what the task is all about, what this phenomenon is well backed up in the study of mindfulness, how to do manageable tasks are not viewed as dangerous, so making it bigger. Our chances of starting action. Carl Jung once said, "What you do makes you who you are, not what you say you'll do by ending a project into steps that can be taken. We move upon you, committed to being productive people, defined by what we do not, what we wanted to do as an example." Let's say you have to write a report. Look at the work. Write report on your to-do list can stop you in your tracks. But write that task again as pick a report topic by Tuesday the 13th. Write 300 words. On the beginning by Wednesday, changes a project that is too much shared into a set of small work that can be done. Not only does this method a very clear map on the way to finishing the project, but also gives you many opportunities for little wins along the way. What can be very important, bring up morale and motivation even more. This is how tasks are broken down. Detailed planning is possible. That can be enough to push people based on the Zeigarnik effect in psychology. People remember unfinished or started and quit tasks better than the ones they do when you split a project into parts and get started on these smaller parts. For each completion does good things for your minds. It makes things easier on the mind. Of the unfinished project, as long as you're continually getting things done and you can see that progress. This method also fits in how to use the agile method used for making software, which stresses progress in ideative work through small releases in steps. If you do this with everyday jobs, you call for a flexible response, how to do the work. A small failure can teach you a lot and make changes to your next steps. Real time. What is a lot more useful than realizing you made a mistake after doing a lot of work on a big job? Each small task you do gives you momentum. As the early Chinese Laozius, a philosopher, once said, "A road trip starts with a single step in the path of 1,000 miles. This proverb points out what it means to take on big projects by paying attention to the little things right away steps. These steps are like the person brush lines on a big painting. Everyone may not look like much by itself, but together they make a beautiful masterpiece. Do you know what it's like to wait, ready for that dream to come true? Well, here's a surprise. That could change what you do and everything. Action comes prior to dreaming in simple terms. This means that is the key to get motivated. You have to do something. This method doesn't work. Wisdom that is usually true on its head, but hold on here. This changes the game in the usual way. We have conditions to think that drive-in is the place to begin for any action that matters. You get ideas, and then you do something. However, waiting for desire. Waiting for a great day can be like in a weather that it always rains. It could never come instead of, even if it's just a small step. You start a cycle where drivenness comes after suit, driven by the progress. You're already making this idea is backed what both psychological insights say and the wisdom of Philippism in psychology. Something is true, what is called behavioral activation. What it says that just by doing something you can make your mood better and amounts of energy. So making it bigger what drives you to keep going. This is very close to with Carl Jung's ideas in mind, who had believed that you don't do what you say, you'll do what you do. Makes you who you are. To put it another way, what we do defines us a lot more than intent does the Stoic philosophy. It also gives you a strong base. For this method, what the Stoics believed, when you focus on what you can change and acting on it, the power to let go of emotions or events outside of the company. A famous quote from Marcus Aurelius: "The hardship to action moves action forward. What is getting in the way gets in the way." This means that the act itself of getting over problems by taking action can learn to drive of actions to come, changing walls into bridges. How does this really work? Think about the times you have done a crazy thing. If you like cleaning your desk at first, you might not want to do it. But once you begin, you gain speed, and right away you're setting up your whole workspace. What the action was ensures that you will do more, getting a small job done, going on a productive speech, even more. Seeing the results of what you do gives you a psychological boost. This is known as the method for progress. Even small steps forward. Attempts that mean something does what it says. It does perceptions and levels of drive. As you enjoy the fruits of your labor, no matter how long dopa is let out by your brain, what a neurotransmitter link is to have fun and be inspired. What drives you to keep going with you deserve those feelings. It's easy to see what this lesson is. Do not wait to get going. Do not wait. Act now. If it's beginning a new project, taking on a difficult task, or going after a long-term goal, the decision to begin cannot change how you feel and what you thought. You leave a state of inertia to one of happiness, where every step forward help with the next step to put this in place. Do something small first. The less action, the less obstacles to entry. As soon as you take the first step, the steps that follow. Lessen what terrifies you. How to get good feedback. What you do next, drive and drive. Let's talk about a method. That might look like it's straight. Not in a seminar on energy, but is in fact grounded in both old and new wisdom and the new psychology. The visualization. This is not about hoping for the best, or just hoping for the best. Visualization is a strategy for taking action. How that works. Planning yourself very clearly, getting what you want. It's about making things. A vision of success that is so commanding, that's what drives you to make it happen. Skyrockets. How does this work? Well, when you picture getting something done, more work from you, more than just dreaming, you're interested. The same nerve trails in your mind as if you were really there, doing what you need to do. A lot of athletes use this technique to improve their performance in the phases they picture themselves. Putting together a perfect pitch, or running right through the finish line. This practice in your mind gets their mind ready and body for the real event, building their confidence, and getting better how well they did physically, but it's not just athletes. What does this do for people? Visualization can help you. To get ready for any job, by taking a few minutes every day, image of yourself doing your projects right the first time, or getting what you want, you lay down right away. An outline in your mind. This process was copied by Carl Jung, who thought that what you resist is present in your unconscious. This means that whatever you focus on gets better in your mind. By thinking about good results, you make your mind stronger. To think about these as not only possible but likely. The Stoics also did this, a way to picture something. It's also known as premeditate malorum. What it involves impressing possible problems and getting ready to face them. This may sound good, a little upset. Visualizing success is not the same. The main idea is the same. Recall in your mind what you might encounter so you can handle it. It works well when you do what we want to do. Visualizing success sets the Stoic way of rehearsing with the goal of getting good results. How to make your mind more strong to reading and images of success uses the law of attraction. Also, what this means, what we can bring into our lives. Whatever it is we're talking about, deeply imagining your success. You get your energy in sync. How it's done with what you want to achieve. This is not magic. It's about setting your goal and sense to choose what to do. That move you forward, your vision of the future in this case. Imagine that you just nailed it. A very important speech. Picture the cheers. The sense of proud, the pleased nod from your coworkers or supervisors. What do you wear and how does it feel? What sounds are in the room? The more detailed you can visualize, the more real it seems, the more your brain is more likely to do things that go with this success. On top of that, this thought practice helps you get over your angst and anger about possible failure. It's a change in how you think from, what if I fail? So what will it be like when I win? This shift has a lot of power. You feel it from a state of avoidance to a one of expectation and involvement. By visualizing more often the good results, you set up a natural connection. Forward to actions that help getting those results. Visualization in business into your daily plan. It only takes a few minutes a day. Can be very dark change how you see things and attitude describe what you see as alive and full of details as it can be. Think about how you feel. The world around us what you thought you would feel. It not only makes you feel better about yourself, but also makes the champion you're working for it feel more accessible and doable. Have you ever looked at how often we say, "I'm going to do it tomorrow. It looks like tomorrow." Is the best catch-all for our plans and hope, and especially our putting things off. But what if we change that way of thinking? What if we use the power of right now? Make this moment different. Right in the middle of progress, success and success tomorrow is, in fact, the busiest day of the week. However, in a way, it never actually gets there. As we put things off and put them off, things will go strange tomorrow. Where all the drive is and work efforts should magically come together. But here's the truth. The ideal moment. The thing you're waiting for doesn't exist now is the best time to begin. This idea aligns very closely what the teachers told the Stoic way of thinking that strives to live in the present and not living in the past or afternoon to get close to your mental peace. The way Marcus Aurelius said it put yourself in the present wise suggestions like this reminds us that we only really have the moment now we need to do something here. What psychology is the reason for immediate action is compelling when you do anything towards your goals. You are making momentum right now. Scientists in human behavior. I have found that beginning a task, even in the timbest way, can make a difference. Lessen your anxiety about beginning and make it more likely that continuing to do. Part of the reason for this is about a psychological event, what is called the Zeigarnik effect, where people can also remember unfinished tasks not as good as completed ones. Your brain in essential keeps a note in his mind of unfinished work, setting you off to get back to work to finish by beginning. Now you use this natural forming the mind to make sure that task is done. More thoughts from Carl Jung into how people behave. Bring out the importance right to act over inertia. That was what he said. What you do makes you who you are, not what you say you'll do. This point of view drives home the importance of actions, what makes us who we are, rather than our prayers or plans. Everything you do shapes who you are much more than any shared goals. How can you harness? What now can do for you? Do this first. Ask yourself, what is the first thing I can do to make progress on my goals? It doesn't have to be a huge jump. Small actions that stay the same. What are the building block about important successes if you're writing an email, drawing a surface, or just setting up your workspace? Every little action adds up and help it make bigger progress even more. Taking action now can help break the cycle of putting things off of perfectionism, and we're waiting for the best luck is often a trap. Beautiful is a lie that keeps people from acting. Instead, accept that you made a mistake. The saying has wisdom in it. Fine is not good enough. Done is what someone does, no matter what the results were. Help you get close to your goals than perfect planning could ever do when you accept the present moment. As your PowerPoint, you line up nothing but a philosophical gem, what the Stoics say comprised of, in the teachings of the Epictetus, who gave us the idea that we should focus. We should only work on what we can do. Use this method makes decision-making easier and help with confidence, because it makes us the owners. We need to act. What we can really do, change things right now. Picture this. You just powered up through a long report or at last cleaned up your workspace. What's next? This is the sweet part of getting things done, starts being kind to yourself. Yes, it's not just about getting things done on your list. It's about going on that trip, pleasant and long-lasting by including awards into your daily life. Finally, everyone loves a treat. Thanks for all their hard work, including prizes. How you do your work is more than just a relaxing break out of routine. It's an important part. Being healthy at work that recognizes your work and renew forces your drive for the future. This thought not just about giving yourself a kiss on the back. It gets to the psychology of it, of implementing good behavior where rewards made better what happens before these things. This is very close to with the principles of behavior, how conditions are the very same rules that B.F. Skinner looked so that you know how consequences change what we do, but let's go a little further. Getting ideas from the wise, from the ancients to the present Stoicism. In this case, might not directly agree with thank you for getting rewards, but it does bring out how important it is to appreciate and get the most out of every moment. Marcus Aurelius, in his own written works, stress how important of good work done and the happiness by doing what you do, going by one's principles. These days, rewarding yourself can be seen as celebrating. This is why discipline is good. When you set a goal, you reach it, and you accept it. How much work it took, how to effectively reward yourself, also means choosing prizes that fit the cases and what drives them state what you've done. A part of a project that is hard to do. Taking a break for coffee or giving yourself an episode of your favorite TV show and not just offers a moment to peace out, but it also forms a good association with getting a job done. What this association can be important for productivity. In the long term, increasing the chances of it happening, that you will overcome your next trouble built on enthusiasm even more. The Study of Psychology by Carl Jung sheds light notes on why rewards can be so pleasing. He thought that acknowledging everything about our experiences, including celebrating our wins, that makes it more holistic self-confidence, we can reward ourselves. Our goal is not only to motivate actions to come, but they are also aware what we're worth and what we can do. Building a healthy condition of the mind that acknowledges what and appreciates what we do. Besides that, as a reward, you can break the monotony. Work that never ends, that can be important in order to maintain a great deal of creativity and work efforts. They give you something. To be excited about how to do the slog through more weird work, feel a little better. You can think of it as making a rhythm. How you do your work where periods of strong effort are interested, including times of real freedom. Improve your overall efficiency, but it's important to find the right green line. It's important to make sure that rewards do not turn into a way to put things off and in themselves. They should be used as a finish line. That gets you angry, do not cause trouble. That take you off the path. This is where self-discipline is useful a lot. Videoed trait about both Stoics teams and the latest psychological treatments. It's about being able to control your urges. So that the reward comes after the work, not the other way around. So that's it. A quick and easy way to do it so that you can make money, not only sustainable but also fun. Do not forget, everything you do is a step next towards your bigger goals. Every reward is a reason to party. Of your dedication, do not forget to check out one of the videos that was suggested, what's on your screen, so you can keep going with us. Dive farther how to learn more and stay inspired. Thanks for coming here with us at Deep Stock. Don't stop moving forward. Do not give up and never stop celebrating your wins no matter how small.